What's up guys, Card Protagonist here, and today I will be doing a deck profile on the Hero World Netman deck, aka the Mega Man deck from the brand new set, Level Up Heroes and Adventurers. So this deck is pretty awesome and it's really fun to play, and honestly I find this deck kind of budget because the highest rarity is actually a double rare. And yeah, this deck actually did top a while back in Japan with some really sick combos, which I will explain later in this deck. The deck features the Netman series, aka body armors, where you transform into either the red version, the red reboot, or Computer Warrior Netman, the basic form. Alright, this deck is able to do a lot of damage at the cost of his ability being able to pay 1 gauge just to deal 3 damage by Soul Blasting 1. And there are certain combos you can pull off this deck which you'll be enable to you to do a first turn kill even if you're going first. So I hope you guys are excited because I really am. So let's get started. So the buddy we use here is Computer Warrior Assemble. Yes, even though he is not one of the transform units, he is actually one of the most important units in terms of defending. If you do not do a OTK, it's okay. The deck has a lot of defensive spell, awesome spells, lots of defensive cards to keep you alive, and this guy is actually one of them. So yeah, this is a Hero World deck, so therefore I actually had a Hero promo card. Alright, the first card we play is 4 copies of Computer Warrior Netman. He is the heart of the deck. He is basically your winning image and you mostly want to get it on your first turn. It's really easy because Netman actually have their very own search power, aka Control C, aka copy. What Netman Blue does is activate, choose and use one of the following skills. You may only use this ability once per turn. Blue charge, either put a computer from your drop zone into this card, so if you do, charge 1 gauge, or net shot. Pay 1 gauge and Soul Blast 1. If you do, deal 3 damage to your opponent. 1 gauge to deal 3 damage is insane. Okay, remember back in the days where you need 4 gauge to deal 4 with Gargantua Punisher? Right now 1 gauge you deal 3, and with 3 gauge you deal 9. And this is the reason why this guy is able to do so much OTK. However, yes, you guys may ask, oh, since you only can be activating this skill once per turn, how do you actually pull off your so-called first turn kill? Alright, with some cards like these, this is actually the promo from the brand new set as well. A very, very powerful card. You will be able to sneak in him from the hand to Netman. Then you can Soul Blast him and pay 1 gauge to deal 3 damage instantly. And with some cards such as Gambit, you will be able to bounce back all those cards and redo the loop again. So of course, at the end of the video, I will show you how to do those combos. This is not just an OTK deck. This is basically a beatdown deck, a beatdown Hero World style deck, with a chance to do a very high chance to do an OTK because there's a lot of search power in this deck as well. So yeah, Netman. He's a transform suit, so you could either pay 2 gauge to transform into Netman, or you can just call him as a unit, a size 2 unit at the side. He's for free. Usually, the transform is very important because one thing to note that is if you call him to the side of the field as a monster and you activate his ability and then you pay 2 gauge to transform into him, the once per turn ability is reset, so you can use the ability one more time. That is one of the reasons why you can do an OTK very easily with this deck. So that's one secret that you guys should know. Since you guys watched the video, you guys are well prepared. Alright, he also has Soul Guard, so he is not very easily taken out by removal effects because you can actually give him some soul so that he'll be quite a tanky weapon. He has a pretty nice 622 stats, 6k being able to run over many monsters. The perfect choice of a weapon. Alright, for the secondary choice, we call it the secondary right target is 3 copies of Red Reboot. Red Reboot is I would prefer you to write onto Red Reboot if you're fighting against decks like Dragon's Eye, where Penetrate and also basically center base decks, Penetrate does wonders against them. So his skill is choose and use one of the following 2. You can only use the skill once per turn. Either red charge, put a computer into the drop zone into this card, so if you do, you can gain 1 life, or reboot shot, pay 1 gauge and Soul Blast 1. If you do, for this turn, this unit gives us penetrate and double attack. So it is very good because the 7k attack power also runs through a lot of big monsters. You can tear down walls really easily. Yep, so it's just simply just a red version of Netman Blue. So depending on your situation, you want to go for Netman Blue. Like for example, you're fighting a Tora, definitely go for this because Netman Blue won't be able to deal damage to a Tora. Right, for the monsters we play 4 copies of Computer Warrior Assemble. These are basically like the robot masters for the series. Core cost, put the top card of the deck into this card so and pay 1 gauge. When your opponent cards attack and you have another computer on the field, change this target to attack this monster. So this is basically like Raging Spirits. So you will usually be in Gao formation. Give me an example like this. So you will be in Gao formation and your opponent will have to attack him before he can go to your life, because all attacks will be redirected to Assemble. So it is a very, very good card. It is sort of immune to penetrate, so you don't have to put in the center to get penetrated, but instead he can just stay there and absorb all the damage. Alright, so 4 copies of Assemble. Next up we have the size ones, 4 copies of Computer Warrior Protocolulu. I think she's one of the female units in this series. Protocol Suit. When this card enters the field, if you have another computer on the field, you can draw a card. So basically like a Drago Archer, gives you +1s whenever she enters the field. So a very handy unit to get extra cards into your hand. Her second ability is Activate. So you can activate this skill once per turn. You may put you can Soul Blast 1 that is transformed. So you can Soul Blast one of your suits. So remove 1 soul. If you do, charge 2 gauge from the top of your deck. So sometimes you might actually want a gauge to perform some combos. You can just use her to just Soul Blast 1 and you can get a 2 gauge. But sometimes too much soul will also be redundant. So yeah, she's just there. You have free +1 draw power. So next up, one of my favorite units, Computer Warrior Archive. He is very important because he helps you reload your blaster so that you will be able to shoot off the skills. When this card enters the field, put up to 1 computer from a drop zone into the soul of a computer monster or item on the field. So usually I'll call him and just charge 1 soul into Netman so that Netman can use his net shot and deal 3 to the opponent instantly. Alright, so it's part of the first turn kill combo as well. 4 copies of Computer Warrior Hackman. He has the built-in magical goodbye effect. So his core cost is pay 1 gauge. When this card enters the field, if you have another computer monster on the field, you may return one of your opponent's monster in front of this card to their hand. So one thing to note is you usually want to call, let's say, your opponent's monsters in here, even in the center. You can just call it center, better face, move. So you can just like, okay, bounce it back, then better face, move, so that my Netman can attack as well. Alright. So really good removal, help break down wall, just in case you want to go for the kill. And he has good sets of 4-2 or 2-1. Alright, so this is the main card of the deck. Honestly, this card makes this deck so broken and so powerful. Alright, 4 copies of Demon Assassin Geology. So he is the box stopper promo for level up heroes and adventurers. What he does is activate. He's a size 0 monster. Activate, choose a monster on your field. Review this card from your hand. If you do, put this card face down into the chosen monster's soul. So usually you will select Netman, go into soul blast him out. Since this guy has an ambush ability, when he's soul blasted out by Netman's skill, he shoot 3 damage to your opponent. You can call him onto the field because of his ambush ability. So that's how you get a free unit, and you can destroy deal more damage to your opponents. So his second ability is at the end of the battle of this card, if you have an item equipped, you can bounce it back to your hand. So it's a boomerang dragon. So one very cool thing is you'll be able to reload Netman's skill. So since Netman's skill is 1 per turn, you can just bounce it back to your hand. Next turn, activate skill, go back to Netman, then shoot again, come back again, attack, then attack. Just rinse and repeat. So every turn you get a free 3 damage into your opponent's face. And with some cards, you'll even be able to push that damage to 6, 2 gauge for 6 damage. Amazing. So this is one of the most important cards of the deck. Makes your Netman's ammo unlimited. Alright, let's go on to spells. Netman has a series of awesome spells. Control C. You may only cast this card if a computer on the field. Search your deck for 1 computer monster, add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So it's good because, yes, even though you may not be, it is not as good as those which allows you to instantly search. It's very easy to get at least a Netman onto your field. Then you can search your deck for any of these cards. Most of the time, your main targets will be depending on your opponents. So if your opponent's going for center-based decks,
If it's open center, this is the better choice. Yeah, Surge Power. So 3 copies of Hyper Energy. This deck tends to eat a little bit of gauge, even not so much, but 3 copies is just so good. Charge 4 gauge, one of the best gauge chargers in the game. 4 copies of Backspace. Netman or Mega Man has one of the coolest negates in the game right now. Okay, you may only cast this card during attack on your opponent's turn and you have no monster in the center, so you must have be in the Gao formation. Counter, nullify attack, then for this turn, if a computer monster was destroyed, you can add 1 monster back from your drops into your hand. So what you usually do is, let's say I have this on the field, and this is my center. Okay, I'll wait for my opponent to kill this because all damage will be redirected to him. He dies. Use Backspace, negate the next attack, and I can add him back to my hand. Next turn I can call him back again. He's a very tinky unit and it's very important for you. So Backspace is not only a negate, it also gives you a free +1 to your hand. This is why it is a fantastic nullify. The next nullify you play is Control Cut and Paste. Control XV. Alright, you may only cast this card during an attack on your opponent's turn. Return a computer monster from your field to your hand, and counter call a computer monster from your hand by calling its call cost, and change the target to that monster. So one of the things I like to do is, since we play Gao formation, I usually like to redirect my monsters to either him, because when you summon him, let's say your opponent attacks. Okay, you have a computer. You need to bounce back a monster. So let's say him. Usually your opponent will be forced to attack him. You cast this, bounce it back to your hand, call it back, and he gets a Soul Guard, and he can basically gets a free life. It's a free negate. Or another amazing combo you can do is you have Protocol Lulu, and the girl. You have her on the field. When your opponent attacks you, you can cast this, bounce her back to your hand, call her out, draw a free card, and redirect to her. She dies, it's okay, because just imagine this, you're getting a free +1 from her skill anyway, so this makes it a free negate for you. So yeah, this is actually a very, very good card, and it's especially important against those decks that have skills that attacks that cannot be nullified, because redirecting is not considered nullification, so it's very powerful. And of course, we must not forget to play 4 basic negates I've seen through the moves. Just simply a negate if you don't have a if you have an open center, Gao formation. And Netman's specialty. Basically, this is a very, very interesting card. You may only cast this card if you have 2 or more computers on your field. It's pretty much guaranteed because you usually have a monster and your item. Cast cost, pay on gauge. Counter, destroy a monster on your opponent's field. So 1 gauge, you'll be able to destroy any monster your opponent controls. However, there's a catch. Then your opponent may call a monster to your hand by calling its call cost. If your opponent does, you may pay 1 gauge and return this back to your hand. So let's say you destroy. Okay, he calls back the monster. Alright, I can just pay 1 gauge, return back, destroy again. He's still losing cards, you see. You can just go Bao Soleil on his ass. We called that term Bao Soleil because we constantly just pay gauge to destroy his whole field, destroy his advantage. You're not losing any hand size because this card constantly returns to your hand, but your opponent, on the other hand, is constantly losing units. So this is a very, very, very powerful card. Alright. So yeah. Alright, so this one is one of the tech that many of us play that allows you to do the first turn kill. Alright, this card allows you to return all your monsters from the field back into your hand. Alright, so why is this card so powerful? Let me show you an example of how you can do 10 damage on your first turn where you can only attack once. Don't believe me? I'll show you. Alright, so the combo is you must at least have 1 of the Netman, so that you'll be able to shoot, deal the 3 burn damage every single time. You could even get Control C. Just Control C search out any Netman, any computer units. So what you want to have is one of these cards and this, just like that. Any combination of these. So this is just there to bounce back monsters to your hand so that you'll be able to perform the combo one more time. So this is how it goes. Right, let me show you a life counter to show you the deadliness. So your opponent starts 10 life. Alright, I'll call Netman, pay 1 gauge, okay. I'll activate Zyrod skill, go into Soul of Netman. Then you activate skill, pay 1 gauge. Then you do 3 damage to your opponent, just like that. 3 damage. 1, 2, 3. So that's 7. He's 7 life left. And since George is being soul blasted, his ambush will trigger. Since he's sent to the drop zone, he will summon out for free. So he will stay on the field. Alright, so next up, you want to counter, you want to cast Gambit, bounce back all cards from the field back to your hand. Since you caught this guy, he does not have any call cost unless you transform, it goes back to your hand. Alright, so once again, you call him again, and use skill, because it isn't once per turn skill, goes and go back into the soul, pay 1 more gauge, deal another 3 damage, 1, 2, 3, the person now left 4 life. And he comes out again, since ambush skill, ambush come out. Alright, but this time round, you won't be able to, you only have 1 of these. So, the key combo is, you must actually activate his transform skill, pay 2 gauge, transform into Netman. It resets all his abilities, so you will be able to use Net Shot again. But, you say, oh my god, so, Jarrod is here, how do you get him in the soul? You do not need to get him in the soul. You just need to call Archive call, 1 card from the drop zone into the soul, Netman, and then use Netman skill, Net Shot, deal another 3 damage. So first turn, your opponent is already, before the battle phase, your opponent is already at 1 life. Just swing with either one of these and your opponent's a goner. So yeah, so this is pretty much the combo. This deck is actually, I did actually top a lot in Japan back then, and it's actually a very fun deck to play, especially if you guys love the Mega Man series, like me. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoy the deck profile. Before I end this video, if you guys like to buy Buddyfight decks and singles like these, be sure to check out buddy-smart.com. Links in the description box down below. So thanks for watching and peace out. Love you guys. Rawr.